Hey everybody, welcome to Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. I am Matt Connerton, and of course, with me to my right is, he wandered off again. I need to get, you know those you see sometimes, like at the mall, you'll see the parents with they have their kids on a leash. Some people think those are like not okay, like they're kind of humiliating or something. But I actually don't mind them. Of course, I don't have any kids of my own, but I think we're gonna have to get one of those for Gary because he wandered off. He's not here. So hopefully he'll be back soon. He's a little fuzzy-headed lately after he went through all that radiation treatment and then the surgery and. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, he'll be here soon. Don't worry. You're not stuck with me for the entire hour again. Gary will be here, and we do have a guest who is also not here yet. So I won't say who the guest is supposed to be, just in case she doesn't make it, because I don't know. It's always a little odd when you say so and so is going to be here or they're supposed to be here, and then they don't show up, and then it's like, oh. I kind of wish I'd never even bothered to say that they were going to be here. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna play it by ear. So, but Gary is on his way. Of course, we had that thing a couple weeks ago where we had that really bad storm and there were power outages everywhere, and didn't know if Gary was going to make it here at all or not. And then I had to call him after the show and found out that he was all right, which was a relief because he's one of those guys who doesn't carry a cell phone with him. So if he's driving in bad weather and he slides into a ditch or something, it's not like he can just pull his phone out and call and say, "Hey, I'm in a ditch. I need someone to come help me." So as we wait for Gary, of course, the big news today. And I didn't really get to it much on my show, Matt Connerton Unleashed, which will be, by the way, available tonight on IPMNation.com by around 10 p.m. On Unleashed this week, I kind of focused on Michelle Bachmann, which probably sounds strange that I threw that out there with everything else that's been going on. How is she even relevant? She's actually on her way out of Congress. And the reason I talked about her was because I'm going to miss her, because I find her very entertaining. Perhaps unintentionally entertaining, but she's given me quite the chuckle. Last week, of course, we talked about immigration on my show, and then I also, by the way, and thank you again to Bob Backus and Mike Farley from the Progress Report for entrusting me with their show last week after Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. After Gary and I finished up that, I stuck around and hosted the Progress Report, and that was a lot of fun. We talked with George Bruno about immigration, and it looks like our guest is here. So our guest has beaten the Honorable Gary S. Hopper to arriving. Hello, welcome.
Hi there. How are you?
Have a seat.
Okay.
Our guest is here. Please introduce yourself.
I am Lynette Peterson, former two-term state rep from the town of Merrimack.
Have you been on the show before?
No.
Okay. So Gary, I don't know if you've been told, but he's on his way.
Okay. It was a joke getting here. I left Merrimack at 5.
Really?
And I'm probably getting a ticket. The meter maid was the car behind me. I didn't care.
Yeah.
No, I ran off and, oh well, I have a...
Well, that's understandable. You don't want to blow an opportunity on a show like this. I mean,
This is true.
I have no idea how many viewers we have. We have viewers.
Viewers. Plural is good.
So you're currently serving?
No, I didn't go for re-election.
Okay.
I have 2 children in college
right
now, and the deal was when I first ran that I was only going to do 2 terms.
Yeah. So you term limited yourself?
Correct.
Yeah. Why? Why did you only want to do 2?
Well, like I said,
that's a decision you made from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like I said, I have 2 daughters in college right now.
Yeah.
State rep salary doesn't really help pay for college.
Right.
And with my daughters, my husband and I, our game plan, of course, we saved a college fund for the girls.
Yeah.
Well, we gave that to our daughters their freshman year and told them, take out a loan every year, but pay it off with what we've given you for your college fund.
Yeah.
That way, when they finish college, they'll have a great He just made me lose my train of thought. Hi there.
Hi.
The Honorable Gary S. Hopper has arrived.
They'll have a,
You're shorted.
I know.
they'll have a great credit rating at that point.
Yeah.
And we'll be paying our portion, so they'll have as little debt as possible leaving college.
Yeah.
Nowadays, kids leave college owing $80,000
yeah.
at least.
Oh, yeah.
They can't establish a credit rating. They're stuck. They have to live at home.
Mm-hmm.
And we're encouraging our daughters to live at home until they save a little and then move out. And
Okay.
hopefully by then they won't have huge college debt.
Right.
But that means I have to go back to work. No more fun up in
It's
Concord.
always a trade-off, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
see, with me, my kids are part Irish and part Polish, so we had to save up for lawyers' fees.
Yeah, well, you're going to spend the money one way or the other.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, my girls are part Irish and part Polish, but we're not saving for lawyers' fees, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least not yet, right?
Not yet.
You
Not
know,
yet.
anything can happen.
This is true. Anything could happen.
Hi, Lynette.
Hi
How
there.
are you?
Great. I'm going to go up to my truck and find a parking ticket on it. So that's
oh,
going to
no.
be awesome. Yes.
Why?
Well, I didn't have time. I was already running late because of the stinking traffic
Oh,
here.
that's too bad.
And so I just bolted, and the meter maid was two cars behind me, and I'm like, oh, she's going to know. I don't care.
Yeah.
And
You know what's funny is I was doing the show when Bill O'Brien removed me as Fish and Game chair,
yep.
and that was on a Wednesday. So I came in and did the show that night, and I got a ticket. So guess who got the ticket? Cliff Newton, who is now the chairman of Fish and Game. Because all it says on our plate was chairman of Fish and Game.
Oh,
Oh,
that's funny.
right. Oh, too
It was
funny.
awesome,
Wow.
yeah. So that was
Too funny.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna? Do you remember what I was gonna say?
I have no
Oh yeah, I'm late. My eyes aren't so good. I don't drive at night when it's rainy
Yep.
because all I see is reflections. It's like a super light show.
So you walked here?
So my son works at in Ware, and he gets out at 5:30, but he has to lock up and stuff. So getting here from 5:30 to getting here by 6 is not easy, but it's safer him driving me and coming 5 minutes late rather than.
This is true.
If you consider teleporting,
I did consider teleporting.
well, you got to hurry up and invent it
I
so
know.
we can all do it.
We'll start walking about 4 o'clock, and maybe you'll
Right.
be here by then.
Ooh, think of the
We
shape
could.
you'd be in.
Yeah,
You'd be
exactly.
ripped.
That's what I'm thinking.
that
You
is-
just had your
See?
plumbing worked on. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this would be great. Walking to work.
Yeah, last week it was Jane Cormier, and I still had this is all still taped up. I went into the last Thursday after they took the stitches out.
Yep.
I walked into Sean Jasper's office and shook his hand because that's the polite thing to do. But I had to sign in for mileage, and I pointed to my neck. I says, "Yeah, rather than show up yesterday, I had my throat slit."
Nice. I'm sure he appreciated that.
Yeah, actually he did. He thought it was funny. Let's see. So anyway, kind of what I wanted to have you on talk about is what motivated you first to run for state rep, and what that was 2009, somewhere around 2010.
Right.
You started deciding to run. What was the impetus?
Well, my mentor, the Honorable Nancy Elliott.
Yes.
I worked,
right.
Yeah,
right.
I worked on her 3 campaigns.
Okay.
Tubing with her and stuff like that. And I can
Now,
remember.
wait! You can't say tubing with her because
tubing, yeah.
everybody
Newspaper
that's listening to this thinks you went sledding with her, which
This is
is
true.
not probably the case.
No. What tubing is you need a driver and a passenger. And every newspaper tube you come to, you stick your political pollution, your handouts in the newspaper box. You can't
Right.
put it in the post office box.
Right.
That's
Federal
illegal.
offense, oh my word. But the newspaper tube. So we just drove around town, always making a right-hand turn, because making right-hand turns, you end up doing the whole neighborhood.
Right.
So I did that with Nancy for 3 years. It was April 2010. Actually, I think it was May. I was in Coles with my youngest daughter, and lo and behold, I run into Nancy and her daughter, Christine Peters.
Yeah.
And I asked Nancy, you gearing up for your reelection? I said, my arm's ready for tubing. And she said she couldn't run again because of Glenn, her husband.
Right,
who
he was sick.
He was very sick, and in fact, ended up dying about less than 2 weeks after my first election.
Okay.
She said she couldn't run again. She said, I've already been praying, you're going to be taking my place. And I told her she was nuts. There's no way I'm taking your place. She said, well, I'm praying about it, and you better start praying too. So I started thinking about it and praying about it. My daughter was like, Mom, you ought to do it. So we started praying about it, and I talked to my husband, and my husband was like, okay. And I said, I want to do 2 terms, and just the 2 terms, and I explained why, the girls in college, and he agreed. My youngest daughter was my campaign manager,
Yes.
and at the time she was going into her senior year of high school. Her school, South Merrimack Christian Academy,
Yeah.
they have community service hours. So I had 5 seniors do all their community service hours working on my campaign.
Wow.
Yeah.
Free slave labor kind of. That's good.
Oh, it was awesome. No, I would buy a pizza, and I said, okay, guys, can you give me 2 hours of phone calls? And they'd say, sure. Would be at one of the Victory office in Nashua.
Right.
They'd make 2 hours worth of phone calls while eating pizza, and
Yeah.
they got me elected.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, teens are great.
Yes, they are. I had my son was I think 12 when I first ran, and I had him get involved. He did the. You were from out of town, so you wouldn't have seen it, but I had on my campaign signs. I wanted them unique because
Doesn't surprise me.
everybody, yeah. Well, everybody has the standard boilerplate signs, you know,
Right.
and so mine have 2 elephants on them, and he drew the elephants. I said, I need you to draw me an elephant. And he drew a really good elephant. It looked like a real elephant. I says, no, that's not good. No, that's too complex. It's for graphic arts. You need something really, really, just basically almost line drawing. So then he did it again. It was still too complex. I said, no, I need something simpler. Then he drew something up quick because he was really mad at me. I said, that's perfect. So on my signs, I have 2 elephants in the corners.
Oh, cool.
But it's kind of they do stand out a little bit, you know, on the side of the road going 60 miles an hour. I don't know how much anything stands out, but
Well, I picked the right color.
color is
Yes.
relevant. Yeah.
Oh, it is. My first election, I remember the general election, I had probably a couple dozen Democrat women come up to me, ask, first of all, if my name was Lynette Peterson, and I said, yes. And they said, we cross party lines. We love the color of your sign. We voted for you.
What color was it?
Purple.
Purple.
Yeah, that is. You don't
Dark
usually see that.
Purple. You don't see it.
Yeah.
No one else in Merrimack had ever had purple.
No, I don't think
Now,
I've ever seen a purple
Linda
sign.
Gould in Bedford
Right.
had an awesome sign, and I wish I had thought of it. She's a cyclist, and I'm a cyclist as well. She has a bicycle on her signs. Oh, I thought that was so cool. I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that?
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lady, Lisa Wilbur, who runs as a Libertarian every 2 years. She gets enough signatures to get on the ballot, and she has her signs, campaign signs, that are basically the plastic corrugated, but they're shaped and colored like a flag.
Oh, wow.
So
That's different.
Yeah, it is different. Those stand out too, but it doesn't get her elected. But
Good.
good. No, and so anyway, so that motivated you to get in. So
Yes. And that's and at the same time,
did you pick judiciary because that was what she was on?
no, I really had no choice. She's very good friends with Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
And she said I could either voluntarily pick judiciary or I should make one phone call. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to go on Fish and Game in first term,
Right.
learn the ropes, figure out what's going on, then do judiciary.
You should have. Fishing game's fun.
Well, no, she told me that no, they wouldn't want me on judiciary after that I was going straight judiciary and either put it down voluntarily.
Wait. Why wouldn't they want you?
I don't know, maybe they think I was a crackpot like you or something. I don't know.
So I was going to say, you found a way to go from Fish and Game
I
to
did.
judiciary, yeah?
I managed.
So she said, no, either voluntarily do it or I should make one phone call to Bill O'Brien and I would
Make
get
sure
put
you
on-
did it, yeah.
So I voluntarily put it on there. And then it was funny. She called me this one afternoon and told me my chairman from Judiciary would be calling me the next day.
Yeah.
And I was to say yes. And I said, okay, what am I saying yes to? And she said that he was going to ask me to be clerk.
Right.
And we had a debate on the phone for probably close to an hour, arguing as to no, that's crazy. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I ended up being clerk the first term.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Clerk's
so-
not a bad position.
Well,
Kind of learning under fire.
Well,
but,
exactly. You learn under fire. I learned a lot faster than I think I would have if I wasn't clerk.
Okay.
And my first term, judiciary was swamped. I think our first year we had 88 bills in judiciary.
Right.
And the second year was a little less, not by much.
What did we get last year? Do you know?
Oh, I don't even think we broke 60 last year.
Okay.
I don't even think we made it into 50s. When
Okay.
the Republicans are the majority, there's more judiciary bills, it seems.
Right. Pro-life stuff and
Well, there was still some pro-life, but yeah, there was a lot more when the Republicans were in the majority.
right.
Because not all pro-life bills go to judiciary. Some go to Health and Human Services as well.
Yeah, it depends on what they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up on judiciary.
How do you like it? How did you like it?
I enjoyed it. I got to say, I enjoyed it the first term better than the second term.
Right.
I liked the chairman the first term better, I should say.
right.
Well, I don't know better. Representative Smith did move things fast through the committee, so that was good.
Yeah.
I didn't always agree with her.
No,
that's
of course
for sure. But yeah, I enjoyed judiciary.
Yeah, I was the chairman because I came in halfway through your first term
Right.
just to cause trouble mostly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that was Bob Rowe was chairman. He's probably going to be chairman again. And then we had Marjorie Smith, my second term when the Democrats were in charge. And Bob Rowe was pushing a lot of stuff. I don't know. I got on his wrong side a few times.
I noticed.
And because I don't vote for things just because Republicans tell me to do so. Mm-hmm. You have to convince me, and some of the stuff I didn't think was right. And but anyway, so one day, I don't know if you knew this, but Marjorie and Bob were sitting in the office, and Bob says, Gary, why are you so nice to Marge? You weren't that nice to me when I was chair. I says, well, Bob, I like her. But that really wasn't the case. I like Bob too. It's just that there was a lot of stuff that they were trying to force me to vote certain ways a lot more. Obviously under Marjorie, the Democrats can't force me to do anything.
Correct.
So there wasn't that, I'm not going to call it even strong arming because it wasn't that bad, but I felt, I was just pushing back, I guess is the way to, I'm Irish, so it's not real good at taking orders. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm Irish. I understand.
Yeah, I would think so. So first term, you sat on the other corner. You sat on the outside. No, first term, where were you?
First term, I was sitting
No,
right
you
next
were-
to.
you
I
were
was
front.
in
You were
between
front.
Bob Rowe as the chairman and Janet Wall as the minority leader. Because I was the clerk. I was
Right in between. Oh,
right in
that's
between.
right. That's right.
Yes.
And then the second term, you were over in the corner.
Right, and I had an awesome seat until you decided to sit next to me.
Right. I
Yeah.
ruined it for you,
You did.
actually. I did.
I had a place for my briefcase,
Right.
and I had Jim Cianci was right there. I could write him notes and find out things from him.
Right.
You ruined it for
I
me.
ruined it.
Is that
You
why they
did.
call you the ruiner?
Yes.
They don't actually call me that out loud usually.
Oh,
We call him worse out loud.
oh,
Yeah, a lot worse. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm an outsider, so I was trying to be polite.
Right, right. The cool thing you had a nice little tablet,
Yes, an iPad.
an iPad. That was an iPad?
Yes, it was. And it has a Bluetooth keyboard. So in the case that it was in, I could stand it up and I could use a regular keyboard instead of the touch screen on the iPad.
Okay. So Bluetooth isn't something rednecks have from...
No, it's a gold tooth.
Oh, it's a gold tooth.
No, a Bluetooth is it. It's like
I'm
like
just
those.
joking.
Okay. Well, I know you're challenged. I don't know if
I
you really
am
know what a Bluetooth
very
is.
challenged. I get up on wow. I get up on the House floor when I moved to Judiciary and said something about the I'm moving to Judiciary and somebody pointed out the average IQ of the Judiciary Committee just dropped 10 points.
At least 10.
At least 10.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. She's nice. She's one of my fans.
Yeah,
too. But so what? For people who thinking of running for office and stuff like that, what do you recommend? Like what
Purple signs.
purple
certainly.
signs?
Purple
obviously.
signs, of course.
But I mean, what is how difficult did you find it? being a state rep compared to what you thought it was versus what?
Oh, I was 100% informed. I had an awesome mentor. I knew the ins and outs. I knew everything that was going on. And then freshmen have a 2-day training class.
Yeah.
I'm a substitute teacher, and I already had a 3-day assignment scheduled. So I couldn't miss one day, or I'd have to give up all 3 days.
Right.
So I called the clerk's office and said, I can't make it for training. So I got to have one-on-one training with Karen Wadsworth, the house clerk.
Wow.
So what Nancy didn't have me up to par on, Karen Wadsworth definitely had me up to par.
Okay.
I had awesome one-on-one training with her. I didn't find it difficult at all.
Yeah, they do have, and I think it's probably more so in New Hampshire when you have 30% turnover every year. They do a really good job of taking you and having classes and telling you what's
Right.
going on and kind of you get an idea of the procedural stuff and
I was kind of glad I missed freshman training with my class. We had the largest freshman class, and to me it was like a litter of lab puppies. There were
Right.
so many of them. They all had their own agenda. They all had their own direction they wanted to go in, and half of them thought they knew more than anyone else knew.
right.
So I was very happy I didn't have to go through training. I could have it one-on-one with Karen. Then I didn't have to listen to all the questions,
Right.
the interruptions, the know-it-alls.
Right, right.
I could quietly just have my own training.
Now Karen's really, really good too.
Oh, she's awesome.
Oh,
And I was
Shoot.
also told by my mentor,
that was today, wasn't it? Her going away party.
I had to work, so I don't know.
Darn it. She was supposed to have, I think it was today, she was supposed to have a going away party, but
Yeah, today's the 12th.
yeah.
You rudely interrupted.
Sorry.
Oh, I was also told some good advice from my mentor. Never, ever get Karen Wadsworth upset with you.
Oh, I've done that a few times. She calls me in the office when this had to be 2001. She says, Representative Hopper, you have to change your answering machine. I says, what? The answering machine at your house has to be changed. I says, why? So she had me call the number. My son had gotten on there. He was 12. I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill all your family.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, that's funny. Oh, no.
Now, how did she
Wow.
know that?
She must have called and tried to leave a message.
Oh, that's funny.
Too funny.
Oh, it was wicked funny. It was wicked funny.
Oops.
But because as a state representative, you can't have constituents calling and
True.
yeah.
I'm not voting for this guy. He's going to kill me and my family.
Maybe I should vote for him so he doesn't. You know.
Exactly.
Then let's see. Last term, I got her mad. We had a bill about it was actually one that went through judiciary about end of life issues.
Yes.
And I got up on the House floor and I says, considering the average age of most of the legislators, what are the percent? You know, are there certain people that should recuse themselves? So she got wicked mad.
Yeah, she doesn't have a sense of humor for stuff like that.
humor's not her strong suit.
Decorum in the house.
Oh, decorum. And so she came up to me and asked me to get up and apologize. I says, no, I'm not apologizing. It was very funny.
Yeah.
And so then she says, well, there's some people in this house that are very close to that. And she was thinking of Amy Perkins, who actually
Yes.
died last year from
Right.
brain cancer. And so I says, okay, I'll apologize to her. So I went up to Amy, who I'm friends with, and I says, Karen thinks I might have offended you. She goes, no, that's the funniest thing I heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I found out? I went to Amy's memorial service
Yep.
with found out my youngest sister, my stepsister,
Yeah.
is actually good friends with Amy and Coco.
Oh, okay.
So we decided to meet before the viewing, and
Yeah.
then we went together, and we were in line. It was a huge line to get in.
I would think.
So we
yeah.
were in line, and Coco kept looking over at the corner of his eye, and you could tell he was looking at us. So when my sister and I got up, he was like, how do you two know each other?
Right.
Yeah, and he thought that was hysterical.
That
he
is
said,
cool.
unfortunately, Amy didn't know. My sister never told Amy that we were sisters.
Right.
Maybe she's embarrassed. I don't know.
No. Yeah, she was. I sat in 2010 to after the 2010 election. I sat next to Coco and Amy.
Yeah, in this last term, Amy had the first seat in our row, then
Yeah,
Coco,
yeah.
Phil Strait, another state rep from Merrimack, and then myself. So the four of us were right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how I got to know him.
Yeah, they were wicked fun. They would sometimes bicker on the way in.
Oh, yeah.
So they'd be bickering as they're sitting down, and if they weren't, I'd start something.
That's so fun.
Lee Quant used to give me the Shotgun News. Remember the big incident where I got caught reading Shotgun News during?
Yes.
Yeah, that was Lee Quant used to bring those in.
Oh, so it's his fault.
Not really. I didn't. I chose to read them. But that's what we do. I'd get one of those, I'd look at it for a couple, and hand it over to Coco, and we'd be sharing, talking about guns for a lot of the silliness that goes up. Because people don't understand. There was who's that state rep from Keene? She's like wicked diehard liberal. A lot of conservatives hate her. I've forgotten her name. There was a picture in on Facebook of her.
Oh, yes.
Playing Tetris.
Cynthia Chase.
Cynthia Chase.
Yes.
So there's a picture of her playing Tetris.
Yes, it was awesome.
Right. Well, I defended her. You know why?
Why?
Because if you look at the picture, she's sitting there playing Tetris or whatever, solitaire. I don't know what she's
It was solitaire.
playing. Solitaire?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's sitting there playing solitaire, and people are wigged out because she should be paying attention. But if you looked in front of her, there was nobody seating. There was nobody else. Like there's maybe two other people in front of her.
Well,
So most of the people are actually in the anteroom telling jokes, drinking coffee or drinking water, and she's being singled out for not paying attention.
Well, it turns out the picture was not taken of her.
No?
The picture.
That's even worse.
No, because I know the photographer. The picture was taken of Representative John Burt at the well. John was speaking.
Oh.
And when the picture was taken with someone's iPad, Cynthia Chase just happened to be in the picture. So when the picture was put on Facebook, because she came in a lot clearer, because John was way off in the distance.
Right, was
so
out of
it
focus.
looked like the picture was of Cynthia Chase. That's why it went global. But it was not taken of her to start with. It was a
that's
picture
pretty
of-
funny.
Yeah, it was hysterical.
Yeah,
So
no,
I joined in the banter. I thought it was hysterical.
No, not me.
Especially since she's the one that came out and said that, because of all these free staters coming up to New Hampshire, we should trash our environment.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
stay out of New Hampshire.
Which
well,
is a ridiculous
you could say the
thing to
same,
say.
Exactly. What are they going to do? Start with Hampton Beach and pollute the beach so no one wants to come?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. And then why don't they say that about the
Maybe if we
Dems
take the
moving up from
mountains down too,
Massachusetts?
we could plow the mountains down.
Well, there you go. Oh no, just stick more of those hideous windmills. That'll take care of it.
That'll do it, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. See, that's why she should be back in the legislature. Legislature.
She could give you ideas for inventions.
I know. I had an invention. Was it last week? Did I have the invention last week?
You haven't. I don't think you've had an invention lately.
Yeah,
have you?
the Target.
Oh, that's right. That was a few weeks ago. I think
was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because my eyes aren't so good, so I came up with an invention for the Target for the visually impaired. It actually has Braille.
Oh, nice. Well, they already have them. They have a sound that you shoot at. You listen for the
No.
sound.
Oh.
That would probably be easier than feeling for Braille when you're trying to shoot.
They actually have shooting for sound.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I have a.
What's that for?
Well, no, I have I guess it would be my step aunt. Was blind since birth.
Right.
And I mean, this woman's phenomenal. She used to shoot archery, and what they would do is they would have a sound beeping on the target,
Right.
so she knew where to aim her arrow.
How good could she do it that way?
Oh, she was phenomenal. She learned how to ride a bicycle, and didn't have anyone else holding on to it. She learned how to downhill ski. Well,
no, that's wicked cool. How
Yeah.
would she ride a bike without just like hitting
Well, she had
things?
someone beside her telling her.
Yeah.
left,
Huh.
left,
Right.
right,
Oh, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And same with skiing. She had someone that she was. It was skiing
Hopefully
she
so-
was
hopefully-
tethered to.
Hopefully somebody she trusted.
Oh yeah, and in fact, last I knew, she works at a blind academy down in Louisiana, and this is an academy for people who used to see but lost their sight.
Yeah.
Their final exam, it's either their final exam or midterm. She takes them to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. They get taken to the opposite side of town. They have to get from where she drops them off to their hotel without taking public transportation.
Wow.
And if they do that, they pass. She says, if you can survive Mardi Gras, you can survive anywhere.
Sounds like a reality show.
It does
Yeah,
sound
no
like a
kidding.
reality
Oh,
show.
she's phenomenal. Yeah. She used to do these tapestries for my stepfather that he'd have hanging on the walls of our. I would go over it with a fine-tooth comb looking for a mistake.
Yeah.
None. I can see and I can't do that.
How would she? That doesn't seem logical that she
Yeah,
could even do that.
she was amazing. She was a switchboard operator and working for the government down in D.C.
As opposed to you, a switchblade operator,
Correct.
right?
And had no special equipment, knew each phone by just the buzz, and never missed a call. There was a big write-up in a business magazine.
Oh, that's
about
wicked
her.
cool.
Oh, yeah. She was phenomenal.
Yeah, we had we had my aunt and uncle or something from my dad's side where I think one was deaf and one was blind. But the deaf one, he came up from I think it was D.C. and he was staying over for a couple of days, and he called me a hippie because my hair was down like past here, right? Oh yeah, wicked bad. I got a picture on Facebook if you want to check it
Oh,
out.
too funny.
I was
Yeah.
very cute, and so
sure.
yeah, and so anyway, so we're I played him in a game of chess and beat him. So I wrote him a note. It says, "How's it feel to be beaten by a hippie?" But hey, so anyway, I've been getting on. I was on a. I was kind of curious what your take was on it. I was started an argument on Facebook.
I saw that.
Not that I would ever start an argument.
Of course not.
No.
No.
And the principle of the argument, or the basis of the argument, and I know it's not going to happen. Okay, so don't misunderstand. But the crux to the argument is, if you're a lawyer, you are a member of the bar, you have to pay dues, like almost like union dues,
Yeah.
to the bar of New Hampshire. You are an officer of the court. Your livelihood is dependent almost entirely on the good graces of the judiciary system.
Correct.
If you aggravate too many judges, and you get basically in any system, you can be blacklisted, so to speak, because if you've aggravated too many people, when you bring a client to that courtroom, your probability of success goes down markedly, right?
Right.
So the question is, if you are an officer of the court, so basically you're aligned, you've already aligned yourself with the judiciary system. Should you also be a state legislator overseeing them? Because the legislature has kind of an oversight responsibility with the judiciary as far as impeachments, as far as bills of address and things like that. So should you be, who's your master, in other words?
Yeah, I saw that debate on your Facebook page.
Yes. What was your
I didn't comment.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't. So what do you comment now, though? You're not gonna?
Well, there's supposed to be 3 separate and distinct branches.
Correct.
So I think that would be too much of an overlay.
Too much. You think so? You think they shouldn't? In other words, do you believe that if somebody is a lawyer and they're a member of the bar, if they're going to run for office, they should resign as a member of the bar for the duration or something, so that they're not the appearance of favoritism at least isn't there.
But then you could say that about any position.
Like
now we
what?
have serving on judiciary, we have a lot of landlord and tenant bills. So anyone that deals with real estate should give up their jobs if they're a state rep.
No, because the difference is, because that's what my nephew pointed out, and he said, what about doctors? The difference is a doctor does not represent an opposing branch of government, and neither does a landlord. That is not an.
But there's legislature that comes up that is definitely like we had several landlord and tenant issues in judiciary. So anyone that deals with real estate agent or a landlord should excuse themselves, or they should give up their jobs. Same with doctors. You know, they have that one doctor from the Seacoast.
Did he run again?
Yes, Dr. Death.
No, not Dr. Death.
Dr. Sherman.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about Hagen.
Oh, he's not Dr. Death.
No,
Dr. Hagen's a good guy.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't understand.
He's pro-life. The other one is pro-choice.
Okay. The actual Dr. Death was Pilliard when I first ran. He was from Bristol? Not sure. He was he ran as a Republican. He was pro-choice. He was pro-income tax, pro-sales tax, anti-gun.
He's a socialist, in other words.
He's a socialist, and he ran as a Republican every 2 years. But he went to Duke University or something, or something like that. So, yeah, we called him Dr. Death.
I have a question about the lawyer thing. How many lawyers are there currently in the New Hampshire State Legislature?
It's a lot.
I would assume. I know in Congress, of course, there's always a lot.
Well, just on the Judiciary Committee, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Close to that.
2 or 3 Democrats.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bob's still a lawyer.
Well, he was a judge.
I know he was a judge, but I don't know that he's still a member of the bar.
Right, I don't know. And Woodbury was his partner, so
Right.
he was one. Sullivan, he was one.
A lot of love there. You can tell the the affection. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one.
But if these people were to resign from the bar, I mean, would that in and of itself be enough to assuage the concern about where their loyalties lie? Because wouldn't that just be kind of a symbolic thing? Okay, I'm going to resign from the bar because.
Well, the thing is, if they resign from the bar, they can't practice law in New Hampshire, so they're not.
Oh, okay. So the idea would be they don't practice while they're serving
as state legislator.
But that would be tough because what if that's their profession, and as a state legislature, you're making $100 a year.
Then you could also say, okay, anyone that works in the union.
Yeah, but
that's going to come up with right to work. Right to work is going to come up.
Right, I get that, but still, a union member is not an opposite branch of the government.
Right, but
I mean, if you were a state policeman, I don't think you should serve either, because now as a state policeman, you're representing the executive branch.
Okay, what about a fireman?
Fireman's local. You're representing your community. You're not there's no constitutional conflict.
I still disagree.
Okay, I'm just curious what you thought. But anyway, that you see the argument though.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's fun stirring up some arguments on Facebook.
Not me. No. Well, the reason I asked it was because you remember. I think it. Let's see. It would have been the year before. I think the year before you got in, we had a bill to address. Marital Master Cross from Derry.
Right, I remember.
Okay, so now I've only heard one side of this, so I'm going to preface this by only hearing one side of this because the guy's never come up and defended his position. So that's all I can hear. He's never responded to inquiries or anything else as far as I know. And if you look at the court system, the bulk of the complaints we get as legislator is from marriage.
Right.
Divorce, actually. If they stayed married, we wouldn't hear anything. And from what I remember, a good percentage of those divorce cases that we heard complaints about were from Derry, the Derry court system. And Marital Master Cross was involved in a few of them. And we heard a lot of complaints, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that would have been in 2009, I think. They tried to have him addressed, which is like an impeachment, but it's like an impeachment light. But we were told that he couldn't be impeached. I mean,
That was my first term that we did that.
well,
We had. Oh, did they?
No.
Was it both terms?
both terms.
Okay.
Okay, so on that year, they said that he could not be addressed because a bill of address is used against, and I probably got the argument a little bit wrong, but basically it's used against appointed officials, and because he was hourly or whatever, it couldn't be used against him. So then in 2011, they tried a bill of impeachment
Impeachment, right?
against him, and we were told some other crappy reason why
Right.
he couldn't be impeached.
Right.
Okay, and still this guy's practicing and,
whack
and
job.
his I don't know. I've never heard him defend himself, so I don't know that he is. I just know there's a series of people who have been, in their view, severely harmed by him and how he's dealt with their marriage cases.
I remember someone mentioning that those in charge knew they had a rogue marital master,
Right.
and that with the legislation that we passed about eliminating marital masters, that would take care of the situation.
It didn't.
Right, it didn't.
It didn't because now he's in Goffstown,
Right.
and I got a complaint from a constituent about marital. Now he's a coach.
Right, he's not a marital master.
No, he's not a marital master. He's a coach or something like
Right.
that. So they basically just changed the decks on the Titanic and still let him, run it into icebergs.
Right.
And the judiciary, I think, gave us the impression they were going to take care of it. This wasn't going to be a problem anymore, right?
Right.
And they didn't.
They didn't. They just transferred him.
But and to me, my question is having all these lawyers on the Judiciary Committee who are aligned already with the judiciary, is that affecting our
But
ability
actually,
to
they weren't. They were also. They want. Because I know when that came for impeachment, the lawyers that were on there were in favor of the impeachment.
Sure.
Oh yes.
Because when it was because I wrote the minority report on that, we did not have a majority in that committee that was in favor of that. And I don't think I was too many. There's too many on my side.
I
Or-
thought for sure they were for the impeachment.
I don't know. I don't remember exactly. I know.
Neither do I. That was a term ago.
Yeah, I know that I wrote the minority report, which usually means that there's not that many people.
Yeah, if you're right.
Because if I'm writing it, odds are. I did one minority report. It was Fish and Game a few terms ago, and it says, and I wrote it. We in the minority believe so and so and so and so, and I think it was the 2000, probably around 2009, because of Steve Abbott? No, not Steve Abbott. What is his name? I forgot. Abbott was the chairman, Democrat. And somebody says, well, what do you mean we? It's only you. Well, the fact is I had it already. I knew what was going to happen, so I wrote it the night before, and I presumed at least somebody would be on my
That's funny.
But so I'm used to being a little bit alone. I can handle it.
There you go.
I like it actually a lot of times, because then you can say what you want. You don't have to cooperate with somebody else to try to figure out what to say.
Yeah, I had a minority report this past term, and I actually flipped the bill.
You did. What was
Yes,
that?
that was the civil immunity for gun owners if their gun was stolen and used in a crime.
What happened to that? That was a really good bill.
Yeah, it passed I believe it passed the Senate. It wasn't, and that was. Oh, he looks like Eddie Munster.
Jeez.
Eaton.
You just love complimenting people.
We have a call. Hi, welcome to Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. Who's on the line?
Hello, is that you?
Hello,
Hello, what's up?
Matt?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. I love your haircut.
Thank you.
Love it.
There was a big pile of hair on the floor when they were done with me.
You're more handsome than I ever thought. That's all I can say.
I'm going to blush. Thank you.
Sandy Paradise.
Oh, hi,
Gary,
Sandy.
I have a question for Gary.
Hi, honey.
Hello, how are you?
All right, what's up?
Gary, is the Fish and Game Committee, do they have anything to do with stocking the ponds at all?
No, that's entirely up to the people that actually have a lot more to do with the day-to-day workings of the Fish and Game Department are the Fish and Game
Okay.
the Fish and Game Commissioners and the Fish and Game Director himself. The Fish and Game Committee in the House or the Senate, all they do is pass or fail legislation that affects fish and game, but we don't have anything to do with the actual working of it, other than maybe budget.
Could you get me the number sometime?
Absolutely.
Pass it to me at church or something.
All right, I'll pass you a note at church. My wife will
Good.
think I'm cheating on her again.
And
Right?
The state rep that you have on there, she sounds like she was an excellent state rep. It's too bad she has to not run again.
Well, she picked on me a lot, so it was actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
We all pick on you because you pick on us. But
He
you
deserved
have a good
it.
humor, and that's what we need. You need some humor, you know.
Yeah.
I was on the school board for 14 years in Manchester. If you don't have, and then I had a heart attack the 14th year.
Oh.
So you've got to have some humor because you're in between these people sometimes for 6 and 7 and 8 hours
Yeah.
of other wards,
Yep.
and they don't like each other.
Yeah.
You have to sit there between them, and you're trying to do things, figure out things in your own mind, and read what you're reading, and everything. And they're jabbing each other like murder. It's not so bad now because we have microphones. But when we didn't have microphones, when I first started in 1989,
Yeah.
I did it for 14 years. Was not good.
Huh.
But anyway, she sounds like she wish she could have stayed as a
Yeah,
state rep, but I can understand 2 kids in college.
Yeah. She's a very
So,
good. She's a very good.
Anyway, good program. Always good. Matt's excellent. He fills in for so many people.
Yeah.
And we love you anyway. And Roger and I are watching you. My husband and I are watching you in Manchester.
Yeah.
So take care.
Okay. Thank you. We'll see you Sunday. I'll do my best to remember to bring that info.
Yes, sometime before the spring. Because I take Sarah and Sam fishing.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know some places that are kind of stocked a little bit. I'm getting
Oh.
tired of catching sunfish and little bass.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, take care.
Sandy, thank you. That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
She's a nice lady.
Thank you.
From church. She's. I'm always making. We have a time for prayer. If you got a prayer concern, I don't think very rarely can I ask. Am I able to do that without making some sort of joke? I just can't. It's just not. That's the way I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
But so yeah, that bill that was actually really, really funny. I prevented myself from telling a joke during that hearing because what's his name again? What was the guy who introduced it to us?
Eaton.
Representative Eaton got up and said that he has guns all around his house, and a lot of times he leaves for hours at a time. And if somebody breaks into the bill is basically if somebody breaks into your house and steals your gun, are you liable for what they do with it?
Right. Yeah.
And to me, that'd be like they broke into your house and stole your keys and then ran over the neighbor's kid. That's they did the stealing. It's
Right.
not your responsibility.
It's common sense.
It's
yeah.
just common sense. But because
Yeah.
it's a gun, quote unquote, everybody's got their everybody's all upset about it.
Well,
So-
the exec hearing, I had.
Wait. Let me finish the story. So anyway, so he goes through this whole thing about sometimes he leaves his house and he's got guns here and there. My obvious question for him was going to be, so when would be a good time? I didn't because the press was there and I didn't want to give anybody any ideas, but it was just wicked funny
Yeah.
that somebody would get up and say how they leave guns all over the house, and a lot of times there's nobody there. And
Well, that's why you save it for the exec sessions,
Right,
because
right.
the press isn't there.
Right.
Like I had poor Margie Smith shocked at the exec session.
Why would you do?
Well, they wanted to
poor Margie?
amend it that it had to be a secured gun and all this. I finally raised my hand and said, if my husband's out of town, you better believe my sidearm is in my bathrobe pocket. It might be on my bedstand or it's on my recliner. I said, every door and window can be open in my house. To me, my house is still secure. If you came in, you better believe I'm going to use that firearm.
Yep.
I said, and if you come in and take it, I said, a secured gun is going to be useless, and I can't. I
Right.
don't have the time to get the gun out of a safe and then get my ammunition out of a safe.
Right.
Before the sicko comes into my house.
That is actually a scam that has been put on by the left, because what they do is they set up these false arguments, and a good percentage of the people don't really think it through. So they say, "Oh yeah." And I heard that on whatever that there used to be a FM radio show, news radio talk show in Boston in the mornings, and I forget it was a couple of liberals.
Oh, on 96.9, was it Egan and Browdy?
Egan and Brownie, and they said that same thing, and about, well, somebody called up, hey, I'm a responsible gun owner, and Egan said, so your gun's locked up, and the guy says, yeah, it is. He says, so you really can't get to it in time to actually use it. Well, it would be difficult, so you really don't need a gun,
He's
right?
a responsible gun owner has one handy and available.
Because
Right.
that's exactly true. If you have your gun, because my brother's from Massachusetts and he's got to keep the ammo locked up here and this locked up
Right.
here and that locked up. Well, that's useless.
Exactly.
You might as well have a ball peen hammer, because that's at least that you can use immediately.
My husband loves me. He
Right.
bought me my 2 handguns, bought me the ammo, takes me out target shooting. He wants to make sure his wife's safe when he's not around.
No, I took my wife out shooting the other day because we've had all those B&Es up in Ware.
And I'm
During
so-
the night, too.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, and I'm so disappointed. My husband got an attaboy at work. He works at BAE Systems,
Yeah.
and he got $500, $800 in gift cards that he could use. And we were going to use it at Bass Pro Shop. He was going to buy me an AR-15. The 2 they had, by the time we went home and got the certificates and went back, because we didn't have power, they sold the ones I could afford with those.
Wow.
So I'm not getting an AR for Christmas.
That's sad.
It's very sad. It's like getting coal.
Yeah, that is too bad.
He got me other stuff, but I really wanted an AR-15.
You know what you would really love? Is an AR-15 pistol.
Wow.
I've got one if you want to try it sometime.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like an AR-15,
Yep.
but because it's a short 11.5-inch barrel, the flame and the concussion is just awesome. It's just wicked cool. It's wicked cool. But
No, thank you.
oh no, well no, but it's not. It's just loud.
I was going to take my arm off when you shoot. Is there a lot
No.
of kickback?
AR-15s don't kick. It's like a 22
Well, if
on
it's a-
steroids. That's all it is.
That's if you get one that shoots 22.
Yeah, that's AR-15s are all 223, except unless you get the odd calibers, and they're still not bad.
Yeah. But if it
Is-
was in a handgun, I didn't know if it would be.
And still no, because it's AR-15, so you still got
Okay.
the stock, the long barrel, and you got the spring tube. It still weighs, I don't know, probably 5 pounds. It's not. There's no recoil.
Yep. Nice.
It's just wicked cool. It's
I'm
probably
not getting one, so that's all right. He did get me a new safety helmet for my chainsaw.
a new safety
Yes, he
helmet
bought me
for your
he bought me a chainsaw for Mother's Day back
Right.
in 2012.
Right.
And I just had to
Sounds
bring
like a typical Mother's Day.
Oh, it was awesome. Oh, I love it. Love it.
You're kind of a tomboy, aren't you?
Because I own a chainsaw?
Yeah, most women don't want a chainsaw.
Oh, and again, he
for
loves me.
Mother's
I
Day.
have the bulletproof chaps so I don't cut my leg off.
Right.
The safety gloves.
Right.
And the ear protection and the safety glasses.
Right.
Well, he just bought me for Christmas the safety helmet with the cage in front.
Right.
So now if a branch, because a few branches, have fallen, cutting down a tree, you could get a concussion.
How many trees are you cutting down? Is this you working for Asplin now?
That'd be nice. That'd be a fun job.
Yeah. Well,
No, I just take trees down on our property.
right.
And then after
Do you
trees
ever get
fall
like tempted
down.
to like do it to the neighbor's property just because?
Oh, the neighbors have actually had me take down trees for them. Because they know we heat with wood.
Right,
They say
right.
if you cut the trees down, you can have the wood.
Sounds
so I
fair.
took like, I don't know, 3 or 4 trees down in my neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
I've taken several, and now I have a few trees that have fallen because of the storm we had.
Right. They didn't get any help from you. It's not. It's,
No, they fell, but I have to cut them all up now.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
So no, I enjoy my chainsaw.
That's wicked funny. Hey, we got to get going. Lynette, thank you very much, and good luck to. I'll probably see you back in the legislature at some point.
Probably 2 or 3 terms from
2 or
now.
3 terms for now.
But you'll see me up there. I have a new job. I am the executive assistant for the Turkish Cultural Center of New Hampshire.
What is that?
That'd be a whole show.
Oh, really?
But I'll be up at the State House with them when we have our Turkish Cultural Day.
Are you Turkish?
I'm an Ish.
Ish.
I'm Irish.
Ish. Okay,
Yes,
so
I'm
you're
an Ish.
Irish, Turkish.
So close enough, I guess, right?
Irish. Turkish. Okay. Thank you, Lynette.
Oh, thank
Matt.
you.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys
Bye, everybody.
next week.